Welcome back to the Viper Miner channel. We are still mining, as you can hear. You can see that this is actually on flux right now. These are 3080s, Founders Editions, and a couple MSI 3080 cards. I have one 68XT that's running on ERGO right now. And it does have a bad fan, so that's going to have to come down and get fixed. I have 12 1660s running on ERGO, and I got the 6 plus 1 over there, 2060s running on Flux as well. And then I have 2 rigs in another location here in the house that are running on Yaxa and Caspa. So I am not shutting down. I am in this room particularly. I am running at 37. Focus here. 3780, 3738 ish on my power. I do have room to bring from upstairs down another 30 amp 240. It's only used right now that those rigs up there are probably can just run on a 120 line that's in the room with no problem. They're mostly gold shell box miners, but I also have a couple Windows rigs up in there as well. So I do have a hodgepodge mess of cabling in here. I did have the rig go. I had some problems when I was switching the rig over to Caspa, and I do have a mess up in here as well. I gotta get fixed. But so that's pretty much it. And let's get to the computer, and I'll talk about my strategy.
All right, guys. So we're back on the computer here. Sorry about the background noise. Like I said, I'm still mining. Got some fans going that are pretty loud right now. But let's switch over to what's the mine, and I just want to talk about what my plans are and what I'm doing. Okay, so first let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's been a couple days now since the merge, and actually if you let's look at price first. If we look at, and it is for reference, like I said earlier when I was in the mining cave, it is 9/17, September 17th at 11 o'clock right now. And if we look, ETH is actually trying to tick back up, but it's at 1456. Bitcoin's at 20K. And let's look at ETC is at 34.46. So there are many reasons why ETH can be down, and I'm going to do another video on my full strategy, what I do for a living. What I run technically a hedge fund, but it's a family hedge fund. So I will lay out what my plan is, because there is a lot of people that are getting scared. There's a lot of people that are getting depressed over what's going on in the economy and the policies that are being made in this country, and what's going. It's just I never thought I'd see the U.S. in this kind of position, to be honest with you. But I think you got to stay calm, and you work through. Okay. So clearly ETH is, if we look at a chart at ETH since the merge, so let's just grab a 7-day chart here, and you can see it's just down, right? And as I always tell all my people, look at a candlestick, and it's a lot more telling than a line chart. Okay. Where's the it was what, the 15th was the merge. So right here, here's the merge. This was pretty much sell the news type of thing. Let's get out. And I will tell you personally, 12, that was Monday, Tuesday, early morning. That is when I was fully out. I mean, I had a little bit of ETH, but I was fully out. And you can see a little bit of consolidation here, and then we hit the merge, and boom, now we're trying to consolidate again, it looks like. And we'll go over what that means in my next video. But I just want to get this out because I know a lot of people are, what do I do with my rigs? What do I do? Do I sell? Do I not? And that's your personal, you need to figure that out, okay? And I will be totally transparent with you right now. My rigs are not making money. They are not making money right now. But as you can see in the video, I have them on. Okay, I am running my rigs full tilt. Every single one of them, every single CPU, every single GPU is running and mining right now in my house. Anything, if it's got a CPU and it's got a GPU, it's mining. Okay, some kind of coin. Even the 2 gig cards and 3 gig cards are doing something because there's coins that you, and who knows what the next coin is going to be. Now, with that said, I understand some cannot afford that, right? I am lucky. I have enough, just in coin, I have enough coin to pay my electric bill for the next 2 years. Okay, I don't have to make a dime in the next 2 years, and I still have enough to pay my electric bill. Now, I don't want to pay that with my coin because I want to hodl, and I'll explain that again in my next video. So big T's, next video is going to go over a lot more detail. I just want to get this out tonight because I was thinking about that. I was watching the news and I thought to myself, like, there are a lot of people out there that are, what do I do? And so I'm going to give you kind of like the basics, and then on Sunday I'm going to sit down and go over everything. I'm going to try to do it early in the morning, maybe get it out. My wife's got 1 day off from the hospital, 1 day off in 14 days. So we got to do some grocery shopping and a couple other things. So we're going to run some errands, and then I'm going to hopefully record the video while she's sleeping in the morning, and then run some errands, and then that evening I'll edit it and get it up there for you guys. But right now I just want to get this out, and I just want to make sure that if you think if your gut's telling you need to turn off your rigs, then please turn off your rigs, right? You can always turn them back on. If you need to sell your cards to, survive, make food, buy food, pay your rent, then that's what you got to do, right? You can always buy back in, right? And some of them go like, why don't you just buy the coin? Well, there are coins out there. It's very hard to go buy. For instance, I am mining right now the Jagon coin, Jagon coin. It's a CPU only mine coin, and it's profitable actually, but there's no real exchange for it, right? I would have to jump through hoops and lose so much of the coin to actually just get it swapped out into some place I can actually cash out. However, I'm just gonna push it aside, and it's gonna be hopefully maybe a lottery ticket. I don't know. But like I said, I've always said, if you got a rig, and I always build my rigs, and I didn't do this always. And actually, I got to contribute this philosophy actually to Rabbit Mining. Shout out to him, who's a big CPU miner. But all my rigs I build now are Ryzen CPU rigs, minimum 3900. Mostly 3950s, and I just been, because the prices have gone down, I've been buying Ryzen 9s 5900 and 5950s. I actually got a 5950 running on my streaming computer right now, which allows me to use OBS and still mine out. I'm mining ERGO on this computer right now. But I just, if you got a rig and you're mining GPUs, I don't care if you mine XMR. I mine XMR all the time. XMR is a great privacy token, or not token, but currency. You're not going to make a lot of it. You're definitely going to get rich off of it, right? But it gives you a start. That CPU's running no matter what, so why not put it to work? The electrical difference in cost in my electricity is marginal to run that CPU a little bit harder. So I do all my CPUs. All my CPUs are mining as well. That does cause one thing, just so you know, there's a small, it takes me a little bit longer to like remote in. Not a big deal. And to be honest with you, if you get off the 3900s and go up one level, there's no issue at all. But I want to make sure that you gotta do what's best for you, right? And please don't just follow me. I'm gonna lay out what I'm doing, and like I said, I am mining. And let's flip over to, here's my Atlantean. So this is mining Flux right now, and I'm getting 227 souls off of it. These are all 2060 rig. It's my 2060 rig, and it's just been cooking away. It's doing good. Now, I have, because of the difficulty, it has not made as much coin, but I'm okay with that. I'm hodling. Now, again, I could go buy it, and I do buy it, and I have been buying Flux because I want to not only do a Cumulus node, but I want to do a Nimbus node. So I'm all in. I am all in the Flux right now. Flux and ERGO are my two go-to coins right now. I like those two. I like where they're going. I've listened to all the developer calls. I've read through all their white papers. I see what they're doing in the ecosystem, and both of them are up and running for miners. And shout out to Bits Be Trippin'. He had one of the developers on. Actually, was he a developer? Not sure. I can't remember his name either. It's so late at night. But one of the things that kind of like sealed the deal for me with Flux, it was this comment he made. He made the comment that they are prepared if it looks like FPGAs or ASICs are creeping into their algorithm, they will fork immediately. They are prepared to fork and keep out ASICs and FPGAs and keep it strictly for the GPU miners. That was music to my ears. That's what sealed the deal for me on Flux. So I am a big Flux person right now. Okay? And I'm a big ERGO person because a very similar comment came out on the dev that basically said they are there for the GPU miners. They are only going to be GPU mining. So the fact that those two came out and said that publicly, and I believe them what they're saying, that does a lot for me, right? So Blackbird is running Flux. I am running ERGO here, and you'll notice I got XMR on both those rigs. And unfortunately, Flux does not. The algorithm doesn't do very well. At least with Mini-Z, does not do very well with my 68 XT. And I know Mini-Z now has brought on AMD, but it doesn't work really. It doesn't work very good. If I actually just run everything off of Mini-Z, the whole rig just crashes. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. It was just a lot easier to throw that right back on the ERGO. I have two more window boxes that are running 3070s and 3070 Ti's that are running ERGO as well, that you don't see on this farm. I also want to talk about here, and I do apologize. I do not think MinerStat has a dark. No, I don't see dark mode here at all. No. All right, so MinerStats is a great place to look, see what's going on from a difficulty level, okay? So, and I'm going to flip back and forth between this and what's the mine. So, I got my 3070s here loaded up. I got eight of them. I hit calculate, 12 cent my kilo for electric. And you notice Flux is the big one. And Grin has been showing up a lot lately. And then I think ERGO's all the way down here. Yeah, here's ERGO for the 3070s. Unfortunately, I do not have a lot of AMD cards, and ERGO does run. AMD cards do process the ERGO algorithm a little bit better, it seems. But I am running If you look at flux here, I'm losing 77 cents a day. I got no problem with that. And this is really, for me, it's a high spot. That's on a bad solar day for me. And I do have, I produce about 2.5 megawatts of solar off my house. Now, granted, with my family that's in here and all my rigs and everything else, I still end up paying 4 to 5 kilowatts. It's outrageous how much electric I'm using right now, and it's not all my rigs. It's my pool. I have a 24-hour house basically because my wife works nights, and I do actually have my parents living with me because they're elderly, and it's just we use a lot of electricity, and it's got nothing to do with the rigs. And because it's so freaking hot down here, still in Florida, it is still hot. It is 88 degrees outside and humid right now, and it's 11:16 at night, and I can hear my AC running still. My AC runs 24/7 almost down here. I cannot wait to winter. I really need some cold weather, and that's really where my pig in my electric is my pool and my AC. I do have a pond outside, and those pumps take a lot of it as well, but it's really my AC. 2 fridges. I mean, it's not my rigs. I mean, my rigs are, yes, burning fuel, but not like the rest of the house. But I do know the national average is 15 cents and flux $1.81 a day. I would say you had 20 cents because I know electric's going up for everybody. The fuel cost is just extra, just unbelievable. And there's no reason for this country to be short on fuel. $3.54. Now that starts getting to be expensive, right? Multiply that by 30 days. That's a significant cost, right? So if you can't cover that out of pocket, you're not going to be able to. And that's after selling the coin. That's assuming selling your coin, and that's how much more you still got to pay for electric. Okay. But my point is that if you were to hodl and you can afford to, and please, this is not financial advice. You need to do what's right for you. But if you are able to hodl and use this as a future sell, so let's just look at Bitcoin here, and let's see if we can max out this chart here. And I'm going to go candles if I can. Wow, I kind of wish I could spread this out. The next video I'm gonna put this on Thinkorswim, and I will show you what this really looks like. Unfortunately, this is not showing the correctness here, but if you were, so in 2017, 2018, if you were mining the last cycle, right, you weren't making money either, right? Even though electric was way down, you still weren't making money. And if you go through here, and then all of a sudden she popped. I mean, you went from what? Say the close was 1,078 on Bitcoin, and then 10 close was 14. Now that carries over to what we could mine. Oh, you can mine Bitcoin, obviously, but this is, mostly about GPUs that we're talking about today. So if we go back out to coins and we look at that same period now for ETH, max coin. Okay, so we go 2017 to 2018 2016 it was nothing, right? I mean, but here we get to the next cycle here. All of a sudden, you're going from $50, $300, $1,000, and then we come back down. We got the next cycle in 2019, and then we didn't hit the cycle again until 2020, late 2020 into 2021. And if you've been mining through all the way through here, came up. I mean, 4,000. I mean, I'm not saying that anybody, I mean, if you sold at the top, hey, great. But I will tell you that that's rare, right? Anybody says they always sell the tops, they're bullshitting you, because trust me, been in the industry for a long, long time. If you hit the top, you got lucky, right? And any good trader worth their salt will tell you that. But if you look up here and you look, even if you sold here at the close, not the high, but the close, 2,300 versus, you know, if you were mining early 2020, 184, pretty damn good returns, right? So I suspect we're going to start seeing what we want to look for is consolidation, and I'm going to get into that in the next video. Big tease for the next video. I'm thinking it's going to have to be 2 parts because there's going to be a lot in that video. But I am going to work on that on Sunday, and then if it is 2 parts, the next one will be on Monday, hopefully. But if you look through here, and let's just go back on the lines here, you can see how boom, cups comes up. This is actually a pattern, a very known pattern, and then you come up here. If anybody's heard of the head and shoulder pattern, this is that, right? And so the rule of thumb for a head and shoulders head and shoulders pattern is you take the top here and you go to the net line to here, and then you take whatever that distance from the top to here, that's the distance at which it's going to fall. And sure enough, it did it, right? Head and shoulder patterns are probably the most predictable, best patterns to trade, okay? Not financial advice, do your own research. But I suspect we're going to see ETH probably with one more leg down. There's some not conflict, but one set of a developer saying there's no. I'm trying to figure out how to say this in a paraphrase phrase. So the one developer saying there's no active movement to go unlock your coins. Now you can take your profits out, but you can't take your original stake out. And then if you look through the documentation of Ethereum.org, it says 6 months after the merge. So which one's right? Okay, did one misspoke? Did something change? I don't know. And to be honest with you, I really don't care. I from the standpoint of me, I'm not staking. Don't plan to stake. I believe the coin is now a centralized coin. I think it's no coincidence that the government is in the White House is now looking at ETH the day after it went to proof of stake as a security. And I think that's going to be their big downfall. I don't think they looked at the consequences of going proof of stake. And I seriously, somebody's going to have to sit down and show me the math, because I've done the math. You show me how mining on what we were doing as GPU and ASIC miners, how that is less energy. We didn't produce greenhouse energy in the mining process. And you look at what a data center is and how much energy they use. And not only that, so we had redundancy and backup by having so many miners on, right? A data center now has either one or two, depending on what their SLA is, has 1 or 2, if not 3, identical systems spun up and running, doing nothing with the assumption for a failover. Okay? So if it's a double failover, there's another system. If it's a triple failover, there's one, and there's some data centers that have 4. I've been in them. I did a lot of IT. I did a lot of programming. Did a lot of embedded controller programming. And I'm telling you, data centers are not better in electrical consumption. Not at all. In fact, they're pigs. So I really kind of don't see, somebody's got to show me that. And with the these farms with like Bitcoin that can actually take flare gas and actually use that, not put that in the environment, and actually burn that into a generator and produce electric for their Bitcoin miners. Seems like that's a big plus for the environment. Just if you're into that, right? So I think hodling's good. I think ETH has got some issues. I think ETH is going to have some serious growing pains to move forward. So again, my look is at ERGO and Flux. I did get a lot of questions on people asking if I was going to start mining this proof of work ETHW, and I can tell you right now, so the people behind it, their track record is horrible. This was at 40 something, 42 I think before the merge. I even mentioned it in on one of my either the last video or the video before. If we go, so it was at 55. It pumped over here to see, this is why I don't like line charts either. 51, and now we're at 8 something, 849. We're down our 10% for the last 12 hours. I think we got going. This is in my eyes a joke. I wouldn't burn my power on this coin at all. If you wanted to buy some, I mean, a lot of people were hyping this up because they were doing a one-to-one airdrop if you had ETH in your wallet, and so people that had ETH in their wallet got 1-for-1 on this, and I guarantee it, they sold it. It was free money, and then they probably turned around and sold their ETH at the same time. So not something I'm going to waste my time and effort on. Now, if this turns to be, down the road a year from now, I mean, why, as somebody who's going to develop something or a token for ETH, why would I not be on the real deal versus this? Now, unless ETH becomes a security. Now, this could change because this is not going to be underneath that same law of this is not a security because this is proof of work. So this could have potential. All depends on the follow through on the developers, right? But I want to go and bring back kind of full circle here. And so if I'm looking at my 3070s, right, and I'll just, since it's been about 15 minutes, here's the change, 79 cents on my 12-cent kilowatt. If you go here every single day, you're going to be flipping your rigs constantly if you're going to try to mine, okay? May I suggest, my humble opinion, and I'm going to try to get some API calls. These guys have an API call. I got a couple emails out to them to see if I could tweet a couple things for you guys. And I literally threw a website together because I didn't even think about this until this afternoon. And it's like, hey, I had some time waiting for some people to get to the house. Let's just look at Caspa. And I was yesterday evening, I believe I was I took literally all my hash power that was on Hive, which is 2 farms, and I threw it on the solar mine for Cas. And within about 2 hours, I got 8 blocks, and then the difficulty just went skyrocketed and wasn't getting anything, pulled it all off. But you have to look at the difficulty and binary stats, which is nice because it's real time. So when you click on difficulty, it is actually generating this chart real time. Okay, and so now that looks scary, right? That and there's no getting around that. We went from 2.8 to 100. I mean, 100 times. Well, I mean, that's just outrageous. Now, it's kind of like the new norm, right? So let's break this down to a 3-day chart. And we can still see that we're going up. We are going up. Now it's a gradual up. So what I've been doing, and the reason why I said yesterday evening I throw all my rigs on to cast for a couple hours, is because I saw, let's see, I gotta go. I saw this, right? So that's what you need to start looking for. So look at the 3-day, drop down, look at your 12-hour. Okay. So now we consolidated in a sense, right? So I can draw, when I'm saying consolidated, is I can draw, I wish I could draw on these. I can draw a horizontal line across here, and I can draw a horizontal line across the bottom here, right? So I would literally have, let's see if I can, oh, I can't even, can I point? No, can't, the way the camera is. Sorry, guys. I could draw a horizontal line. So I got 2 parallel horizontal lines, right? And I can see that drop down here. So actually, earlier today, around 2100, actually it was, so right around, yeah, 2100, we dropped. It'd been a good time to go through some rigs on, because it was at, it actually broke that, and you can see, if you look at this line here, I wish I could turn this box off. We dropped below that line, so it's good. So now we touched that line. So that means some rigs came on, but still not bad. Actually, if I had gone and moved this, my rigs are, I'd probably leave them on to a, like tipped a little bit higher, right? Or if I wasn't getting any, if I was solar mining, if I wasn't getting any blocks after an hour or so, right? That's kind of like my threshold on cast, right? But if you're pool mining, you should be doing pretty good, right? So even here, I can go in here and I can say my profitability. I move everything over to realm. My profitability is still not, I mean, so, did I do that right? There we go. Let's BTC, where's my, so I was even saying I'm going to get something on the, get that right? Yeah, 3,000. It's 24 hours before that. So, I mean, at this point, it ain't worth it. If I was looking for profit. Now, if I'm looking just to hold the coin, I think for a little tiny low cap coin, it's holding its own. It's really doing good. In fact, I am now diving into all the white papers even more in depth to see what's going on. But anyway, so miner stat coins, that's how you get here. And it's kind of nice, just, and I've shown this before, but this gives you a nice, what's the trending of 7 days? What's the top coins in the pools? And then market cap, right? So the market cap I can get anywhere. I can get the CoinGecko, Coin360, all that. So that's you know here. I mean, so what's kind of interesting is that Doge is up here now. But so the top coin statistics on pools still ETC. Although I got it, and I'll pull it up in a second. Ravencoin, Bitcoin, XMR is up in here. ERGO. Candana, I would love to get hold of a couple more Candana miners. And then Flux is down here in number 10. But, so let's look at Flux real quick. Go to difficulty, and again, real time, so let it pull a stain. If this is all, this is literally defaults to all, it's gonna look nasty. Every single coin is gonna look nasty because ETH is gone. Drop that down to 3 days, and so you can see kind of like where rigs come on and then they come off, on and off. And it's a very predictable pattern. And so I'm thinking about trying to write an algorithm. I don't know if I can get into HIVEOS to actually go do this, but it's real easy to pull the data off this. And then can I get my rigs to switch automatically? I mean, it'd be nice if Hive would actually start doing that. I got no problem. I don't want to use NiceHash because I'm not going to pay a pool fee and a NiceHash fee. I mean, that's ridiculous. But this is right now, actually, I'm mining Flux right now, so this is good. So I should be doing it a little bit better. Let's look at one more. Let's look at ERGO. Again, It's going to look horrible from the, pre to post. And now ERGO, which is kind of nice. If I ever saw this stair step down, I will literally throw every single card at this to go mine, because the algorithm is it takes anywhere between 24 and 48 hours to adapt and increase the difficulty. So the fact that this is increased on the 16th means today it wouldn't have increased. It would have increased on the 16th. So if more people are coming on, the difficulty actually will stay for the next 24 to 48 hours. So this is actually a good. If this ever drops, I literally will throw all my rigs on there. All right, so that's pretty much it for right now. I do want to go and show you one quick thing here. So if we look at ETH Classic, we can see our 7-day, coming through here, and Ethermine has got 25%, 23%, almost 24% of the known hash rate. So still good there. If any one pool gets closer to 50%, I'm going to be very leery about ETC. I know they said they fixed stuff. Still got to prove it to me first. But let's go look at, so nowhere near what was on ETH originally, right? However, what I am seeing .40 45.78 terahash on this ETH proof of work coin. So I suspect ASICs are moving in this coin as well, because it is a direct fork. The algorithm is exactly the same. It doesn't have to be tweaked. There's no firmware needed. Not all the ASICs out there, even within the manufacturers, not all their ASICs, they're giving out the firmware to mine on ETC. Some of them might be just too old, or they haven't gotten around to doing it yet. So I suspect those miners, those ASICs, and even those FPGAs, because those are not fun to program again, are going over to this ETHW coin. And I think that's why you see such a increase here. So we're at 45.78, and what is ETH at? 214. So pretty good increase on the ETH work coin, proof of work coin. All right, so that's pretty much all I want to cover. Stay tuned for the next set of videos. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you want to leave a comment if you want something. Also, there was a couple of people that asked me to look at minerpool.org. They asked me to review this for Flexpool. I've used them in the past. I really do like these guys. These guys are really good, and the developers here in the pool are very responsive to support and everything else, so I really kind of like that. But I will also do a video on this as well, so look forward to that coming. And I'll compare that against Hero Miners and Flexpool as well, to see if which one is kind of like best. I know for sure those two are giving away free, no fees for the time being. Let's see if I don't know if these guys are doing that as well. They may be. Everybody's trying to like get. Whoops, I typed that wrong. Oh, did I not? I know everybody's trying to get everybody into their pools, because I mean ETH was a big piece of their business. Miner pool solo. Where's their miner? Oh, they're number one right here. Yep, they're doing 0 as well. So is Hero Miners. I am really happy with Hero Miners. In fact, all my rigs are on Hero Miners right now. Flexible, I like them. I just think they need to flesh it out a little bit more. I did have a rig that was dropping off a lot. I don't know why, so got to figure that out. And I do have my Atlantean rig is just throwing so many freaking rejected shares, but yet it doesn't reject on Flexible at all, which I don't understand why. So I haven't changed anything on that rig. I'm going to go onto miner pool, and I want to see after a 24-hour test, see if it rejects any shares there. 2 miners is still charging you, and I thought there was one other doing for 0. Oh, here we go. Dark fiber miner, which they've got nothing on here. I think they got nothing. I thought there was actually somebody else that. Oh, here it is. Cruxpool is doing 0 as well, and looks like, I mean, concentrated on miners pool, but 31%, 29%. I mean, it would be nice if that was a little bit more balanced, but it's pretty balanced. Again, please like, subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment if you want to leave a comment. And I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow.